All right, Brent Porcio, topvelocity.net. Going to do a pitch analysis here of Keenan. We're going to pair him up with one of my favorite Japanese pitchers, Asao. Asao's 5'9", 5'10", like probably 145 pounds. So he's a little guy, but very explosive. Obviously, a lot of fast switch muscle fiber. Um, you know, full great. He's very limber, full range of motion. So he's flexible, but also at the same time very strong and explosive, which is really the high velocity combination. Okay, so let's take Keenan through his delivery. Take him into his leg lift. Take a sow into his leg lift. His video's in slow motion, so let me speed it up. Let's see. All right. Sorry, I'm moving this around. Working with this video. Okay, so we can see here, if we draw a line off that drive leg, just kind of gives us an idea where that weight is positioned into the peak of our lift. So we can see here, similar, not too bad, Keenan, into this lift position. We want to see weight inside that drive leg. I like to see this drive leg knee starting to push down inside that drive leg towards that linear force vector position that we want to establish early in the delivery. And the force vector, of course, is that ankle to knee. We can see the hip is leading the knee, just same with both guys here. The only thing is just notice how Asao's arms are in a relaxed position. You don't want to go into I don't recommend a high position like this, because then we can be very aggressive in the handbrake and break our hands, which can move us into our cocked position too early. Okay, so let's take Keenan into his load. So as his lift leg descends, we see a little bit of movement. Lift leg's kind of going a little bit faster than the front hip. I like to stop it when the lift leg knee breaks the front hip. So right there is the lift leg knee breaks the front hip. Here comes Asao. He moves into extension. I talk about these lift leg patterns in my latest version of the 3X Pitching Mechanics Guide, Volume 2. He used an extended lift leg pattern as he moves down the mound into his load. So when his lift leg knee breaks his front hip, look at his differences in stride length, and it's obvious that he accelerated his momentum a little bit faster and covered more ground into this position here. So this is where we really want to be. If we see Keenan here, his force vector really hasn't shifted much since the leg lift, so it's still very vertical. If we look at Asao's here, definitely almost perfectly linear. Somewhere to that front hip is right where you want to be. And the reason is why we found these different positions, but this is very common. ASMI did a comparison of a high velocity, low velocity pitchers, and it found that high velocity pitchers and low velocity pitchers are they're more different initially or early in their delivery, but more the same at the end. And this is what we're going to see. We see here a very difference at this point in the delivery. We see a difference in how Asao moved down the mound with that lift leg pattern, how he built his momentum a little bit faster, accelerated those forces, ramped those forces, better at lining that force vector before that lift leg got out front. So we can see definitely a big difference in the movements here. And you'll see once we land with the front foot, once shoulder rotation begins, we're going to see a very similar movement pattern at that point. So this is where we want to really pay attention, because this is what's going to get us to that end result, which is being in that high velocity category. So just because when the lift leg knee breaks the front hip, just because you're not linear at that point doesn't mean you're in trouble. The only point I'm making is when that lift leg knee breaks the front hip, if this foot tends to want to open and put down at this point, you can continue to extend and reach to give this more time. That's the only way you can make up for not being in a position at this point. So let's see what Keenan does. So he starts to open the front side, and we know when once we start to open the front side, we better power the back side because we're about to put down. So you can see Keenan's open the front side, but the problem is you're not going to power the back side when your force vector is vertical. That's the point of having it down in a linear position like a sow here when you're ready to open the front side, because then you can easily power the back side and move, and knowing that those ground reaction forces are going to affect hip rotation. Here with Keenan, if he was to power the backside, he would jump, and that's going to serve no purpose to his delivery. So, sorry, I jumped through all that. Okay, so he's opening the front side. Now he's starting to move the force vector down, but as he moves it down, he's going to extension. So once he gets it down in linear, pointing to that front hip, he's in extension, so he's not going to have much to work with. You can see as he's going into front foot, and as that front knee, you can see this knee here completely squares up to the target right here. That drive leg knee rolls down, and then that he just kind of rolls off the mound. So not not really a leg drive, maybe a little bit from here to here, but not enough to really peak ground reaction forces. So he hits front foot there, stabilizes there, hips are open. So let's take a sow through the same movement. So Sal now he's moving into extension of the knee here. He's opening the front side here. He's kicking the ankle kick or the ankle before he goes into front foot. He implements triple extension as he finalizes that ankle kick. He lands, stabilizes, hips open, and this is our differences. So if I take Sal in this position and I take Keenan in this position, we can see that the big difference is, of course, the arm position right here. So we can see Sal has the hips open and the shoulders closed, so creating that optimal hip to shoulder separation, which we know is a key component to high velocity pitchers. So how do we create this kind of hip to shoulder separation? So we got to go back to the beginning of the delivery. So you can see, like I said, when you were breaking your hands, as you're moving your arm up, you were pushing your elbow back into horizontal abduction. That's good. You're taking too long to move forward here. Your arm right there should have been hitting front foot. Right at this point here. Let's take a sow when he hits it front foot. Look where his arm is. There he is. He's hitting front foot right there. Look where his arm is. Look where your arm is. Look where your foot is. Look where his foot is. Okay? So you took too long to get to front foot. So let's see where you are when you get to front foot. Your arm is cocked and your shoulders are rotating at this point. So the good job you did of it, taking your elbow behind your back, lining your glove side up, that was great, but the timing was off because you took too long through your lower half. So if you would have done a better job coming out of your leg lift, as your lift leg was coming, if this hip was moving with it. So if this was moving a little bit faster, so when your lift leg knee broke your front hip right here, this would have been all the way in that direction, pointing to your front hip. Your front hip would have been out here. Then you would have been in that same position that Asal found himself in before he went into front foot. So notice where your arm is, let's say right here, and look where his arm is. His is even a little bit more down, but closer to similar positions. But look at his stride length, look at yours. So as you move to get to where he is, which would be about right here, you're already ready to cock. Next one, you're ready to cock. So you can see how taking too long in the lower half is going to reduce ground reaction forces. It's going to reduce force into your hips. And also, it's going to make it harder for your upper body to time and position itself right into that cock position into front foot. So if it's having to slow down, it's too hard to slow down the upper body to wait. If you're moving too slowly, and ultimately, it doesn't work that way. So the key here really is to accelerate the hip speeds, and so when we're hitting front foot, we're just starting to cock, like we see here with the sow. Hitting front foot, just starting to cock. And then as he settles, then the arm pops up. the hips are open, shoulders are closed, and then the shoulders rotate and the arm moves into optimal external rotation. So you can see when your hips are coming around, your shoulders are coming around with it. So that pushed you, when you went into external rotation, you went a little bit into some adduction here. Your elbow pushed out. It would have pushed out even farther if you wouldn't have done such a good job of keeping your elbow back behind your back. I mean, not too far here, but just enough. So you can see here, you're very much vertical at this point with your external rotation. If we would have taken you to more to where sow is around here, your external rotation would have been a lot less. You're very vertical in your front leg force vector, as you can see here with the sow, and that puts you in that high velocity category. So you look more the same here into your releases. This looks more the same as the both of you here, but the difference is the forward trunk tilt, the front leg extension, and your release point. Your release point is off to the side here, which could be more because you're a little bit more sidearm, but actually it's not bad. Your release point isn't bad. It's just the trunk tilt. You would have gotten more torque in your upper body or accelerated more forces through your hand with more forward trunk tilt, and that front leg extension would have supported you getting there. So you can see how you missed it on at the end, even though it looked more the same. But really, all the issues came in the beginning, taking too long to move into your load position, effectively generate, peaking ground reaction forces in the front foot. Really trying to hit triple extension before front foot. So where your hip is right here, then the next frame you should have hit, and then the timing of the upper body moving into the cock position needs to be better. So I hope that helps. So it gives you some things to work with. So as you move through the 3X programs and you move through all those drills, you'll have many repetitions where you can focus on these issues and try to apply them into those drills, and that's how you're going to make improvements. So I appreciate you sending your video, Kenny, and appreciate you being patient as I got it, waiting for me to get it to you.